Your attention, please. Question number 8. Which of the living organism is an example of homeothermic animal? In terms of temperature regulation mechanisms, animals can be classified into two basic categories. These are homeothermic animals and heterothermic animals. But what is the basic difference between these two types of animals? Good. So, animals classified into homeothermic and then heterothermic. Homeothermic animals have a constant body temperature. They can regulate their body temperature. They can balance their body temperature. And these animals can regulate their body temperature by three mechanisms. What are the three mechanisms by which homeothermic animals can regulate their body temperature? Good. Number 1, physiological methods. Number 2, behavioral methods. And number 3, morphological methods. So, homeothermic animals can regulate their body temperature by these three mechanisms. But can you tell me an example of animals that can balance their body temperature? Good. Generally, birds and mammals are classified under the category of homeothermic animals. How about heterothermic animals? These are animals that have variable body temperature. Their body temperature varies from time to time, from place to place. But can you tell me the reason why? Good. Because their body temperature is determined, governed by the external environmental temperature. If the external temperature increases, their body temperature also increases. But if the external environmental temperature decreases, their body temperature also decreases. Because their body temperature is controlled, affected by the external environmental temperature. So, heterothermic animals are cold-blooded animals, animals that have variable body temperature. And these animals are generally classified into three. These are fish, reptiles, and then amphibians. So these animals are generally heterothermic animals, cold-blooded animals, animals with a variable body temperature. But birds and mammals generally classified under the category of homeothermic animals. So from the given alternatives, which one is classified under homeothermic animal? A. Fish, B. Lizard, C. Turtle, D. Rabbit. Good. The answer is rabbit, because rabbit is a good example of mammals, and mammals, birds are homeothermic organisms. How about fish? Fish is heterothermic. Lizard is classified under the reptiles. Turtle is an example of reptiles. And so fish, reptiles, and amphibians have no mechanisms to balance their body temperature. They have no mechanisms control to make their body temperature at a steady state. That's why these organisms are pectothermic animals. But don't forget that birds and mammals are homothermic. So the answer is right. Question number 9. Gradation, please. After information is processed in the central nervous system, instructions are sent to the body by specific neurons known as A. Sensory neurons, B. Afferent neurons, C. Affector neurons, D. Effector neurons. Don't forget that information is processed in the central nervous system, just in the brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord are the two components of the central nervous system. So the information is processed in the central nervous system. Then impulse messages are transmitted to the body from central nervous system to different parts of our body by which types of neurons? Good. The answer is effector neurons. Can you tell me the reason why? Good. Neurons. What are neurons? Neurons. Neurons are the basic structural and functionality of nervous system. The basic unit, the most important unit of the nervous system. Students, what does basic unit mean? The most important, the most essential unit. So, neurons are message carriers. They are very important to carry message or impulse from different parts of our body to the central nervous system, from central nervous system to body parts. So they are basic carriers. ስለዚህ ኒውሮንስ ማለት እያንዳንዱ የሰውነታችን ክፍል ወደ ሴንትራል ነርቨስ ሲስተም መልእክት ይወስዳል። ወደ ብሬን ሊሆን ይችላል ወይ ደግሞ ወደ ስፓይናል ኮርድ ሊሆን ይችላል። The brain basically controls voluntary actions. How about the spinal cord? እነዚህ ቅጽበታዊ ምላሽ የሚባሉት ቅጽበታዊ ምላሽ ወይ ደግሞ ሪፍሌክስ አክሽንስ የሚባሉ ነገሮችን ፋሲሊቴት የሚያደርግ ኮኦርዲኔት የሚያደርግ ፓርት ኦፍ ዲ ሴንትራል ነርቨስ ሲስተም is said to be spinal cord. So spinal cord is the center of reflex action. Reflex actions are actions that are beyond the control of our brain. So these actions are automatic, involuntary actions. So these actions basically coordinated by the spinal cord. ስለዚህ ከእያንዳንዱ የሰውነታችን ክፍል ወደ ብሬን እና ወደ ስፓይናል ኮርድ መልእክት የሚወስዱ ኒውሮኖች ሴንሰሪ ኒውሮንስ። What is the other name of sensory neurons? They are ensoport, afferent neurons, affector neurons. So, sensory, afferent, affector neurons. These are synonyms. They are the same meaning. These are neurons that are very important to carry impulse from sensory receptors from body part to the central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord. Good. How about effector neurons? Effector neurons are also called efferent neurons. Or simply we can say motor neurons. And these neurons are very important to carry impulse, to transmit message from central nervous system to different parts of the body. So these instructions are processed in the central nervous system, then sent to the body by specific neurons known as effector neurons. Efferent neurons, they are also called motor neurons. Good. Student, look. Let's say for example, እንደዚህ አይነት ጥያቄ ፈተና ላይ በሚመጣበት ጊዜ የዚህ ጥያቄ መልሱ አናውቀውም ብለን እናስብ። ነገር ግን let's compare and contrast the alternatives. Sensory neuron ማለት afferent neuron እንደሆነ እናውቃለን። Afferent neuron, effector neurons እነዚህ አንድ አይነት ናቸው. Which one is different? Effector neuron is different from the others. So since these are the same things, this one is a different one. So this is the answer. ስለዚህ እነዚህ ሲስተማቲክ መሆን አለበት። ስፔሻሊ ደግሞ አንዳንድ ጥያቄዎችን በምንሰራበት ጊዜ we have to compare and contrast the alternatives. ምርጫዎቹ በጣም compare and contrast እያደረግን መልሶቻችንን መስራት ይኖርብናል ማለት ነው። So it should be systematic to answer the questions that are entrance exam oriented questions. Very good. So the answer for question number 9 is said to be effector neurons. How about the third type of neuron, which is interneuron, which is also called association neuron, which is also called mixed neuron, or relay neuron. So neurons can be classified into 3 basic groups in terms of their functions. These are sensory neurons, effector neurons, interneurons. Good. So this is part of your home task. What is the specific function of interneurons? What type of neurons are said to be interneurons? Don't forget that. Interneurons are also called association neurons, mixed neurons, relay neurons. Good.